What's going on, everyone? So today we are going to be working on everything vertical press. We're going to be doing some barbell push press. If you don't have a barbell at home, that's okay. You can use dumbbells or kettlebells, or if you just want to use like a hockey stick or a wooden dowel and just practice along, you can do that as well. And we're also going to be doing some half kneeling press. If you guys are members of Movement Strength, chances are you've probably had this program for you or have done it in our class programming. So we'll go over those movements once we get there. We're not going to be doing a warm-up, so if you do need a warm-up, I'll put one here for you guys to follow along, or you guys can just hop right in and join us. So for our workout today, we are going to be doing 5x5 push presses. I'm going to start my clock here. We're going to set the clock to a 90-second timer, meaning our job is to complete 5 reps every 90 seconds. I'm going to probably do about 1 to 2 sets with just the empty barbell as a warm-up and give you guys some cues that I'm going to be focusing on for my push presses today, as well as some common mistakes that I see. So, if my clock cooperates. Okay, so first things first, what is a push press? A push press is when we're getting assistance from the dip in the movement, whereas a strict press, my knees are locked out or like a slight bend to take care of the joint, and we're pressing. A push press is that slight dip in the knee, driving up. As I'm driving up, I'm using that momentum to push the bar up. So what it looks like with an empty barbell, I'm gonna grab that bar, place it in the front rack position. I try my best to keep my elbows somewhat high, not as high as they would be in a front squat. They're gonna be pointed down a little bit more than that, but I don't want my elbows behind the bar, because then I have no shelf to keep this bar up. So from here, I'm gonna dip down, driving overhead, and back down. For today, I don't want us rebounding out of the bottom. What I mean by that, I don't want this, okay? We're trying to work on strength and positioning in this movement today. So if you guys haven't already, feel free to grab a barbell or your dumbbells or whatever and start practicing these push presses. So, some common issues that I see when people are doing push presses here in the gym, or I see people posting videos online. Their knees, although we're bending at our knees, we shouldn't necessarily be thinking knees bending directly straight in front of our body. So the front view would be here, side view here. The issue with this is as I'm dipping, a lot of the times if my knees are going directly over my toes, the weight is going to shift from my heels to my toes, which then means I'm not balanced. I can push that bar forward, or I might even lose that bar forward as well. So my favorite cue during the push press is chest nice and high, pushing those knees out. So I'm still dipping, but I'm actively thinking of pushing my knees out, okay? So you guys can try that on this next set. Once again, we're still just doing some empty bar warm-ups, or if you want to just add some lighter weight, that's okay, but we're not into our working sets yet. So you can see here, I'm pushing those knees out, keeping that chest nice and high, driving up, and driving that bar up simultaneously. Perfect. Okay, so that will be the cue that I probably want 99% of you guys to focus on today, pushing those knees out. If you want to see if you're doing this, set a camera up and record yourself from the front. From there, if you don't notice those knees pushing out, you know you need to make that correction. With our feet placement, same as your squat, maybe a little bit wider than your hips. Think of your ideal jumping position, right? Wherever that is, that's kind of the position I want you to be in for a push press. Toes can be pointed out just a smidgen. That will help us track those knees out, okay? So we're gonna do this last final warm up, and then I'm gonna start adding some weight to my bar. Pushing those knees out, keeping that chest nice and high, trying to have as vertical a press as possible. Make sure you get that chin out of the way as well. You don't want to lose any chiclets here. It's not going to be fun for anybody. So 5 by 5, 5 reps every 90 seconds. We are not touch and going or rebounding out of the bottom. We're doing each rep individually to give it the attention that it deserves. So I'm gonna start my first working set in about 35 seconds. Once again, cues, knees out, get that chin out of the way, press that bar directly overhead, okay? Got about 20 seconds. So the reason I like to pair this up with half kneeling press is push press, I'm obviously getting assistance from my legs and my glutes. The half kneeling press really isolates that shoulder. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1. First working set here. Perfect, weight is on those heels, chest is nice and high, pushing those knees out, driving that bar overhead. So, got about a minute of rest. If you would like, feel free to add some weight. That is okay. Might add another 10 pounds per side here. Some other common mistakes that I see in the push press. People have a tendency to not only drive those knees forward rather than driving those knees out, but they actually dip too far. And when you dip too far, you actually lose a lot of the powers from your glutes, and you're now mainly just working on your quads, which aren't going to be as strong as the biggest muscle in your body, which is your booty. So, we don't necessarily want like a super shallow dip, but you want to find that happy medium, okay? So that's why I like to think of pushing those knees out, because you can't really dip all that far when you're pushing those knees out, right? So it's a good indicator of letting you know when you should stop. Okay, set number 2. Perfect. Whew. Once again, about a minute on the clock for my rest. As with the most strength workouts that I do nowadays, I like to set some sort of timer, whether it be every 60 seconds, every 90, every 2 minutes, every 2 minutes and 30, every 3, whatever it may be. Just keeps me honest with my time. As much as I would love to just be at the gym for 5 hours a day working out, I have to do some work, just like I'm sure you guys have to. So setting that timer is a really good way to not only keep your rests honest, but it's a great way to make sure that you get everything that you need to get done in your workout done on time. And it makes you feel less rude. Like if I'm in the middle of a set and I have another set coming up, if there's a timer and someone's talking to me, it's kind of like, I gotta finish my set. Whereas if you don't, you can feel rude leaving. No? Okay, maybe it's just me. That's fine. Third set here. You got it, big chest, knees out, get that chin out of the way. Okay, so we have 2 sets left. Don't worry about what I'm doing with my bar. If you guys want to add more weight, feel free to do so. If you need to take some off, that's okay as well. The reason I'm working specifically on 5 today, 5 reps, is it's a great way to challenge my strength, but also allow me to work on technique. If you go too heavy, a lot of times we get a lot of muscle fatigue in there, and our technique starts to break down. So keeping the reps anywhere from 3 to 5 is a great way to build strength, work on that technique. If you're comfortable with this movement and you feel like you can do 2s and 3s, that's okay. This isn't a movement that I often go max. Like I don't try to check my 1 RM on a push press. I don't really care. 2 more sets, and then we move on to our half kneeling press. Got about 8 seconds left. Be aggressive when you get out of that dip, right? Jump up, squeeze those glutes. Let that big muscle help you in this movement. One more set. The way this is gonna work, right when I'm done this set, I'm gonna go straight to my half kneeling press. I'll do one sort of warm-up set to get used to the movement. Then we go straight into 8 to 10 reps, 5 sets of half kneeling press. The reason I'm giving you a range, I want you to aim for 10 reps. If it starts to get a little bit too heavy, you can go down to 8 reps, okay? Ranges are okay. If you don't make that top tier range, doing a little bit less is not a huge deal. We got our last set of push press in 15 seconds. Remember, aggressive out of the bottom, pushing those knees out, getting help from that big booty muscle that you got. Last rep in 5, 3, 2, 1. All right. Whew. Just gonna grab a sip of water here. So half kneeling press. Now, you could do half kneeling press with a barbell if you would like. Today I'm going to do it with dumbbells. If you are doing it with a barbell, I recommend halfway through the amount of reps. So if you're doing 10 reps at 5, just switch what leg is forward, okay? Just to make sure we don't have those little imbalances. So we got about 30 seconds. Remember, first set, it's gonna just be a little bit of a warm-up set, but this is what I wanna see from that half kneeling press. I recommend usually starting on your weaker arm. That way, when you're done your first set of 10 on your left or your right, whatever one is weaker, your stronger side, because your CNS is gonna be a little bit fatigued, will make up for it, okay? So, neutral grip here. I don't necessarily do like an overhand grip when I'm doing a half kneeling press. Elbows pointed somewhat forward. Front leg is in front, obviously. My knee is stacked over my ankle, nice big chest, and we're pressing. Okay, so this is just our warm-up set here. 3, 4, 5, 6, so I'm doing 8, then I'm switching. Left leg is now forward, knee stacked over ankle, hip stacked over my back knee here, driving up, back down. I don't have a tempo written out, but I do want us to come down, you can see, nice and controlled. All right, we're not trying to rush this movement. Pretty sure that was 4, 5. Oh, you guys get to hear the clicks. Sorry, it's distracting. All right. Whew. First warm-up set done. We're gonna get straight into the working sets now. If the weight you use for your warm-up is what you're gonna do for your working, that's okay. We got 8 to 10 reps, 5 sets, every 90 seconds. And the expectation is that you're doing both your left and your right within that 90 seconds. Don't rush the movement. First set, here we go. Doing my best to keep that chest nice and high, not trying to have a massive arch in my back. Remember, we're shooting for 10. Oh boy, that is gonna get spicy real quick. Once again, I always like to start with that weaker arm, because then at least the second set or the other arm in the same time frame feels a little bit easier. I have no idea if that sentence made sense. That's okay. Just realized my arm goes out for balance. Whatever, it's okay. Whew. About 20 seconds of rest. So once again, the reason I like pairing these two up, a half kneeling press does a really good job of isolating that shoulder. Similar to if you were doing seated press, it's just a little bit more dynamic in nature. Great way to change some things up. Next set, get ready, 8 to 10 reps in 2, 1. Oh, I can't really talk during those ones, especially the left-hand side. Doing our best to drive that dumbbell directly overhead, not trying to push it out in front of us. That's 2 sets, 30 seconds of rest. Maybe went a little bit quicker that time. Things to think about. With a neutral grip thinking elbow straight as opposed to an overhand grip, the reason I tend to train a neutral as well is when it comes to Olympic weightlifting, push presses, strict presses with a barbell, my elbows are in front during a barbell. They're not off to the sides. So it just carries over a little bit nicer. 3, 2, 1. Fight to keep that chest up. Don't arch that back. Oh boy, oh boy. Oh. So, 2 sets left. That set, I did go down to 8s. Reason for it, in like my 6th rep on my left side, I start to feel myself arching my back to compensate. So I know as soon as it gets to that point, I might need to scale it back a rep or 2. I maybe could have shot for 9, but my shoulders are a little tired, especially because we just did push presses 4 minutes ago. So we got 2 sets left. Second last set, starting in 5 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Try to keep that chest up, don't arch that back. Driving that dumbbell directly overhead. Switching arms for me. Oh boy. halfway. Ooh, one set left. I can tell 5 sets is perfect for me today. Even on my right-hand side, I don't know if you guys are experiencing this, but on my last few reps, it's almost hard to lock out that elbow as well. That just tells me that I am nearing fatigue on these shoulders. If you've had to go down in weight, that's okay as well. If I wasn't so prideful and the camera wasn't on, I totally would be. We got 15 seconds until our last set. 10. Okay, Isaac, you got it. 5, 3, 2, 1. Last set here, let's go. On my right feels significantly stronger. 8. Okay. Whew. That is it. That is all. If you're still finishing up your last few reps, that's okay. Just some parting words. Remember, when it comes to push press, whether it's with a barbell or a dumbbell, push the knees out. We don't want those knees dipping directly in front of you, because weight transfers to your toes, you toss that bar forward. Push the knees out. Half kneeling press. Great little exercise to truly isolate your shoulders. What I love about dumbbell is I get to work on single modality as well. So barbell, you can sometimes get away if one side is extremely stronger than your other. So for me, my right is a lot stronger than my left. So when I push press or when I barbell press or when I jerk, I have a tendency to lock out that right arm first and then that left arm legs behind. So if you need to work on the lockout, stuff like single arm work is a great way to try to even out the strength on either side of your body. So, hope you guys enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please leave them down below. If there's any other types of videos that you would like to see workout-wise, let us know as well. Hope you guys have the best day ever. Bye for now.